It is finally here. Over the last 7 weeks, we have been counting toward this moment, the moment of receiving the Torah, of Zman Matan Toratenu, the moment where we commemorate and reinvigorate our connection and our dedication with Torah, with mitzvot, and our relationship with Hashem. On most Shabbosim of the year, we spend a time reading a portion of the Torah. However, this Shabbat, because it is Shavuot, we will not. And as such, the rabbis explain that the parsha that came right before the holiday in this year, Parshat Bamidbar, has a unique and special relationship with Shavuot. What exactly is that relationship? And what is that relationship trying to tell us about our relationship with the Torah, with mitzvot, and Hashem himself? Bamidbar literally comes from the word midbar, a desert, as it explains some of the most intricate and most sensitive elements of our traveling through the desert on our way to receiving the Torah, on our way and our detour toward Eretz Yisrael. Yet, if you think about the midbar, what we think about is desert, barren, nothingness, complete hefkerus, complete ownerlessness. Yet when you think of Sinai, when you think of Sinai, you think of this regal mountain, beautiful, vivacious, wonderful. Those two concepts don't seem to sit well together. Yet for some reason, Midbar and Sinai are very much interconnected. The question is, what exactly are we meant to learn from this? Rabbi Norman Lamb, in a 1964 drasha, explained that there's an idea that one has to be in a state of hefkerus, a state of ownerlessness, of nothingness, in order to truly accept and be able to take in the Torah. What exactly did he mean by that? And what are we trying to learn about our preparation, our final preparation for receiving the Torah? Rabbi Lamb explains that there are two parts of being hefker, of being ownerless. The first part is coming to the Torah without any preconceived notions, without any biases. Because if we come to the Torah withholding certain concepts of what the world should and shouldn't be, of what moral and ethical standards are, of what our children should engage in, we should engage in, then ultimately what we are going to come to is not the Torah the way that Hashem created it, but something very different. And secondly, that when we do come to Torah, it is not meant to be reconciled with philosophy, with literary critique, and with other moral elements or concepts that we've been exposed to beforehand. It is Torah first, everything else second. If that is true, what exactly does it mean to come to the Torah in a state of hefkerus, of ownerlessness? The idea of hefkerus is an idea that is brought up in the Torah, specifically in Masechet Bava Kama, where we discuss ownership, where we discuss the ideas of how to gain property and how to lose property. Hefkerus is when we are trying to establish ownership, the very simple process that we take is usually showing that we have the ability to impact land or impact an item. So for instance, if we're taking ownership of an animal, pulling the animal and walking it along shows us that we're taking ownership. If it's land, walking a field and grabbing an apple from an apple tree shows that we are taking ownership. But when it comes to hefkerus, when it comes to something that's ownerless, we have to actually do something much more to the core. We have to show that we are really taking ownership of the essence of the idea, because we are taking it from. We have to show that we are the owner to the exclusion of everyone else. When we think of our relationship with the Torah, it is not just about taking on the mantle of Yahadus, of Judaism, and taking on the mantle of something that's beautiful or something that is socially acceptable. It's not just about putting our mind and our attention into the learning and into the exploration, the same way we do science and math. It is about taking on something to the core with our full heart, our full hopes, our full dreams. And this is something that we as parents, we as educators have to remind ourselves. See, we are models for our children. And what we do every single day, they see. Whether they're focusing on us as they focus on TikTok and YouTube, or whether they focus on us from the periphery, they're always watching. How we speak, how we act toward others, how we manage ourselves in conflict, what we spend our time doing, where we spend our time doing it, and with whom. That is something that they're looking towards. And they're looking towards that as they model or as they formulate their model for adulthood. If we spend our time praying to Hashem 3 times a day, dedicating ourselves to learning Torah, not as a pursuit of knowledge, but as a pursuit of the essence of who we are. If we spend time dedicated to mitzvos and to gemilas chasadim, kindness towards others, and chesed, if we do that as opposed to something else, we're presenting to our children, to our students, what's most important. That is what comes before anything else. That is what must be the message that we send. It is Torah before everything else. It is Torah not through any other lens, through its pure essence. That is what Ireland was trying to explain, that in order for the Bnei Israel to accept the Torah, to be ready to receive it, they had to go through the physical process of becoming ownerless, of removing themselves from the sheath of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, and all of its drudgery, and becoming something completely blank, so that they could rewrite themselves through the lens and through the guise of the Torah. And then, once they receive that, they can experience the world anew, not through the lens of something else, not through the lens of politics or outside stimuli, but only through the lens of the Torah. This Shavuot, we hope that we can rededicate ourselves to the Torah through this process. For this is the way we're going to ensure that we have a Jewish future, that we are going to ensure that its future is bright, that it is able to withstand any attack from the outside world, and that we ensure that not only our children, but our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, every generation thereafter remains Jewish, remains focused on Torah, on mitzvos, and avodat Hashem. Chag Sameach.